have an awesome book for you to add to your reading list titled Disrupt Aging, A Bold New Path to Living Your Best Life at Every Age, written by Joanne Jenkins, who happens to be the CEO of AARP. Now, this book attempts to change our conversations about what it means to get older. Through this powerful and engaging narrative, Jenkins focuses on health, wealth, and self to share how we can look at getting older with a positive lens. Now, the author shares many tidbits about her own journey and the journey of other age disruptors to show how we can be active, healthy, and happy as we get older. It's available on Amazon. So definitely check out the book and let me know what you think about it. CoachHub is the global leader in digital coaching through a state-of-the-art digital platform. Their scientific approach has been formulated by their coaching lab, which utilizes the latest research in behavioral science and positive psychology to create a cutting-edge, effective, and holistic coaching approach, offering personalized one-on-one coaching using an AI-enabled technology platform. CoachHub has a global pool of over 3,500 certified business coaches in 90 countries, offering coaching sessions in over 60 languages. And that's to more than 1,000 enterprise clients across 6 continents. And it's supported by their international team of over 700 dedicated CoachHubbers. My guest, Lisa Tomlin, is the senior behavioral scientist. She will share about CoachHub, benefits for individuals, and if you happen to be a business owner, benefits that your company team can thrive from. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, okay, tell us about CoachHub and what do you do there?
Okay, so I am a senior behavioral scientist that you already stated in the wonderful introduction. And I'm also a coaching solutions client partner. So my role is a bridge to the coaching lab, but I sit in the sales organization. So I wear a variety of hats for CoachHub that I enjoy very much. One of those hats is sales facilitation. I partner with our sales team as the subject matter expert, providing coaching solutions to our clients. So our client organizations are a diverse group of global organizations that are in corporate industries. Some are not-for-profit organizations, and some are educational institutions and universities. So my job is to help discover what really is going on inside an organization. So at CoachHub, we leverage and enable behavior change to positively impact professional growth and development. And we do that for individuals inside an organization. We do it for teams. We do it for leaders. And in our business environment right now, we are also working with our clients to help them support major transformations. So those transformations could be cultural as well as business oriented. So
you mentioned real quick, you mentioned the business environment right now. Would that include the silent quitting, trying to avoid that, some of the different changes that have been going on since the pandemic?
Absolutely. So there has been a large increase in organizations seeking coaching as a solution for dealing with retention issues, helping people understand that organizations care about them, not only professionally, but also about their well-being. And all of this has occurred post-pandemic. So yes, we see the trends where we have people going through a decision to retire, the quiet quitting, how can organizations, one of the questions that we help organizations answer is how can we help them with strategic issues such as strategic mobility, retention, succession planning, and their full talent development and learning development strategy. So I come into the sales organization with a knowledge of all of these strategies. I have to keep on top of what's going on in the industries when it comes to people development. And I help the sales team discover where we have an opportunity to really help an organization develop their people. So that's that side of the job. The other side of the job is using all the knowledge that I just shared with you and sharing it to broader audiences like yourself on this podcast. For example, I spoke at last year's SHRM Inclusion Conference in San Diego, and I will be speaking in conferences that are coming up this year, as well as, yes?
And real quick, for people who don't know what SHRM is, that's an organization for HR people.
Correct. It's Society for Human Resources Professionals. That is a global organization. The Association for Talent Development is another major organization where CoachHub has a presence. CoachHub also has its own podcast where we have guest coaches and leaders talking about trends that are occurring in coaching. That is called Spark, S-P-A-R-K, Leadership. And you can find that both on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you find your podcasts, as they say.
Writing that down.
All right. So that is something that can keep you up to date with what's going on in the field as well as what's going on in the company. And then, so those are my two major buckets that I do at the organization.
So, okay. So hopefully I didn't get confused in thinking that you also provide, like as an individual, can I contact CoachHub because I want business coaching one-on-one myself?
Well, we don't take individuals, but we could take an organization. Like we have clients of various sizes. So the way our business works is that it's our mission to democratize coaching at all levels of an organization, okay, worldwide. So let's just unpack where coaching has come and where coaching is going now as a digital solution. Coaching used to be 15 years ago a very expensive investment for an organization. It was very much set aside for those top executives in an organization and could, depending on how many people you're coaching, could cost $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in investments. Now, with a more democratized approach, we can offer coaching at scale. So those wonderful 3,500 coaches around the world are delivering coaching across the digital platform. And the digital platform is a much more cost-effective and affordable mechanism for organizations so that they can now support 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people through coaching. Our pricing is through a licensing around the number of seats that you would like to have annually. And so many of our clients may have annual seats, but may have different coaching programs that last 3 and 6 months, and they rotate different individuals throughout those programs as well. So that's how it works. So it's a much more affordable proposition where you could take that $20, $30, $40, $50,000 investment and utilize it in a different manner. And that's for organizations who are thinking about, hey, we haven't done coaching before, but maybe let's try to test it out and have it a way of entering into the coaching arena.
What's the smallest number of employees a company can have?
We have had people like 15 coaches.
Okay.
And what's really, I guess, rewarding and innovative around democratized coaching is that we can coach a frontline leader. We can coach a middle manager. We can select someone who's onboarding into the organization as a new hire. We can coach those who are high potentials and maybe on your succession plan and you're looking to develop them further. We can also develop leaders. to help them acquire the leadership skills that we need now. So those post-pandemic leadership skills are no longer top down. We're looking for more inclusive leaders, people who show more compassion, who are open to different perspectives as well.
Okay. It's interesting that you mentioned that. I won't mention this pharmaceutical company. A girlfriend of mine works with a huge company, and they've implemented, I don't know if they're working with your company specifically, but sounds like from what she was describing, they're either working with your company or something similar. But because of that, she's hoping to retire for this with this company, because she's mentioning how the higher ups actually care about everyone, that you can actually reach different individuals that normally you couldn't reach. Like, she can contact the manager, the supervisor above her manager, and not get reprimanded. They can speak their mind about being unhappy and not get reprimanded for that.
So it looks like your friend is working for a company that has a very definitive culture about how they communicate with one another. They've articulated how they treat one another and support one another in an organization. So we offer our clients some of the same training through our coaching solutions. So one of the coaching solutions that we have that are on is inclusive leadership. And inclusive leadership, that coaching framework is based on the scientific studies behind workplace inclusion, diversity, equity, and we are helping leaders at all levels gain the communication and the behavioral skills to create an atmosphere of belonging inside their teams, inside the organization. We're helping change culture. So a company would come to us and say, we want an inclusive organization. Our 3 top priorities for our culture and leadership objectives are X, Y, Z. And then we apply our inclusive leadership framework to drive the coaching and development for those leaders. So that is where the transformation takes place in the organization, and teaching everyone a new way of listening to ideas and perspectives and getting buy-in and changing the climate inside an organization.
Okay. So would a company come to you, I guess the CEO or whoever makes this decision, come to you and say, know what we need? I'm not sure, we're getting a lot of people who are leaving. Everyone has a different scenario, I'm guessing. And I'm assuming that CoachHub helps the company identify what they need. Maybe they don't have problems, but they want to avoid problems. I'm assuming that's your job, is to help that company to do
absolutely. So when I speak about that partnership that I have as a thought leader and subject matter expert working in tandem with our sales team, is through those conversations with the client. First, we want to just familiarize you with the digital product so you understand what the technical interaction is. And then we have a deep conversation, an ongoing conversation about uncovering where coaching can make the biggest impact first inside your organization. What is your highest need? And we also help shape what the population of the employees might be to accept the coaching, right? So that's what we call a coaching program. It's identifying a cohort group of individuals, large and small, who can benefit from the coaching as we have now with the client defined its purpose. And so once we've defined its purpose and coaching starts, one of our major differentiators is our brand new dashboard, which is a reporting system that allows coaching to be administered in a very easy way for our clients. And we're offering you real-time data so that you can see in aggregate how coaching is impacting the cohort group that is engaging in coaching. And it allows us to provide coaching outcomes that we then can provide to our client and match it against their retention data or their promotability or their diversity and equity goals to see how the coaching is impacting the organization and their long-term strategy.
Okay, I'm guessing that's where AI technology comes in.
That's right. That's where the AI comes in. The AI begins the first time anyone engages in the platform. From the time a person being coached, we usually provide an orientation to our coachees. Then you get on the platform and you do a profile questionnaire. You then select your coach. And if you are overseas, that might be in a different language, a different time zone. And then we have an assessment tool called a strength assessment, which allows reflection for the person being coached to get ready for coaching and start thinking about their focus areas and goals. And all this has been scientifically designed through our coaching lab and through our coaching council. And you can learn more about the council on our website, but we have high profile impact from people like Marshall Goldsmith, Terrence Maltiba at Columbia University, who runs their coaching program, and also other leaders and professors across the world. And then I just would like to share with your audience, we talked about that inclusive coaching framework, but I also want to talk about our holistic coaching model. And the holistic coaching model we use developmentally. So that's the model that we use for driving development in general, outside of inclusion, for all different reasons. So the model is based on, half of it is based on personal growth using Seligman's work and what he calls the PERMA model. And then the other half of it we call Inspire as a Leader, which is all about transformational leadership, scientific research. And so we have different dimensions and different focus areas. And that is what drives the assessment and drives the behavioral change, those characteristics.
Got it. Okay. So there's two primary frameworks. Either it's inclusion or, I forgot that fast.
Holistic coaching model.
Holistic coaching model. Perfect. Okay. So how did your career get you to CoachHub? How did you want
that? That is a really good question. My career, when I graduated college with a psychology major, I knew I didn't want to be a clinical psychologist. I wanted to work with people professionally in their careers. I was really curious about career paths and how people selected their jobs and how they are successful. So after noodling after college for a couple of years in another career path, I committed. I went to graduate school in counseling psychology with a focus on career development. I ended up interning in the career development office at the university in which I did my graduate studies, and they taught me the basics. I developed first, starting my job in career in higher education, working with undergraduates at the bachelor's, master's, and also the PhD level. And that allowed me to begin to learn how career pathways start. After I did that, I had leadership roles, not only in higher education, but in talent development in corporations, where I focused on MBA recruitment, talent acquisition, employee engagement, and general HR. So then I got to see the other side of how an organization builds out its HR priorities, its learning and development priorities, and how people travel in the organization from that new hire experience into an employee that's providing value. And then the last phase of my career, I decided to join a professional services firm. And that professional service firm, I had the opportunity of not just doing outplacement career coaching with adults. I then got selected to become a leadership development coach. I was trained inside the organization to become ICF certified. Some of you may know this company as Lee Hecht Harrison or LHH. And I spent over a decade with that organization, becoming a practice leader expert, as well as someone who was supervising our coaching team for the Northeast region. So I did everything at LHH, which was coaching solution design, working with the sales team, supervising coaches, and becoming a solution designer. And then the opportunity came up with CoachHub. And I wanted to be at CoachHub because it was a global organization. This company is headquartered in Berlin. It was started by Maddie and Janis Nebelschultz, who are brothers, who had a profound and transformative experience with coaching and in their own personal lives, and they wanted to democratize it for others. I wanted to be in an entrepreneurial environment, and I wanted to start taking all of my coaching expertise and really packaging it in a subject matter expertise format. And CoachHub allows me not only to contribute and add value to the business, but I also get to write white papers. I also get to speak at conferences and actually be a champion for the field and for the organization. So that's why I chose CoachHub.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Please share how our guests, if they're interested in learning more about CoachHub, how would they find out the information that they need?
Well, we have a fantastic website that's easy to use, very informative. You can start to engage with us by just asking for a demo of our platform. Another way to engage with us is look at our thought leadership, some of the specialization areas that we do for coaching. We call those use cases, and they can get white papers on various topics. We just released a new product called the ROI of coaching that helps our clients gain a better understanding before they invest in coaching and what that investment might look like for them. And then you can follow us on the Spark Leadership podcast as well and stay connected to the organization that way.
Yeah, and I think the podcast is great also because it builds trust, because trust is a huge issue in the corporate world right now.
It is. And coaching is one of those fields where you are trained to hold trust at the highest level of the coaching relationship. So organizations can also learn from coaching cultures and coaching behaviors.
Ladies, so whether you have a smaller company of about 15 employees or larger, definitely look into CoachHub, because I know your goal is to take your company as large as you want it to be. And I will tell you, as you well know, if your employees are not happy, they will go somewhere else and seek that happiness. And HR, your HR reps know that it's expensive replacing employees over and over again. So, and I know you know that as well. So please look into CoachHub and just keep everyone happy, build a real team, because that thrives our company, our country, when there are more and more successful, thriving businesses.